what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I am a comic book artist and film enthusiast, and I am doing a series of videos that I call Why It Should Win Best Picture, wherein I talk about each of the Best Picture nominations at the Boscos and why I think that specific movie should win Best Picture, giving 2 or 3 general ideas. If you haven't seen the movies, I think it's a good sense of what they're about and giving you some talking points when you go to your viewing party. And if you have, I think it's worth a revisit on what makes these films most interesting. They're like kind of micro reviews. Today we are talking about the film Train Dreams on Netflix. Train Dreams is the story of a railroad builder suffering through and dealing with the loss of losing his wife and child, and not in a John Wick kind of way. There's a lot of notable things about Train Dreams, but I think first and foremost, Joel Edgerton is at his very, very best in this film. This is one of the best performances I have ever seen. It is heartbreaking and stoic and quiet and sad. There is so much said with so few words, which feels like a cop-out. Like, that feels like I'm just making stuff up and seeing things that aren't there, but it genuinely feels like there is more dialogue than there is in the film. You get more information out of a look than a lot of other people get out of a soliloquy. The performance is just rock solid, and it is a portrayal of grief that feels genuine and real in the sense that it is kind of ebbing and flowing. Sometimes he's fine, sometimes he's on the floor crying and doesn't know what to do. I mean, there is a deep, deep sadness and longing and yearning to this film that makes it so hard to watch and so effective to view. It is a text about grief, and that we've gotten a lot of those recently. Like, the last few years since COVID, honestly, has been a focus on grief, and so it's amazing to me that there is a new movie in 2025 at the time it came out that can say something about grief that no other movie feels like it has said. And a lot of that does go to Edgerton for his performance. The other most notable thing about the film is the cinematography. It is somehow dreamy and also very grounded and real and tangible. This is a beautiful film. It feels like a vibes piece. If it didn't have the story, if it was just a show reel of the way that the cinematographer could make these things look good, can shoot in a forest, it would be worth the 2 hours or 90 minutes or whatever it is. Like, I would just watch that. The fact that there's a story is icing on the cake. There is a beautiful quietness to the film, and that quietness is in no small part due to both sound design, yes, absolutely, but the cinematography. I've said this before on another video, but this is the movie that I watched and made me go, oh right, that's why we have a cinematography category at the Boscos. If this doesn't win cinematography, it is a huge loss. Like, that is a flaw. I don't use the word lightly. That's a snub if this doesn't win cinematography. It feels like I'm giving false praise, but there is something so ethereal about the visual aspects of the film that I can't really totally put into words, which is a bummer because that's kind of my job here. Third, and definitely not least, the music in Train Dreams is another piece of the puzzle that comes together to become what this movie is. The somber, quiet, pensive nature of the film would not happen with a different style of music, with more music or less music. And there's a lot of music in the film. I don't think there's another kind or version of music that you could put on Train Dreams that would evoke the same weight as the music does in this. There's also an original song called Train Dreams for the film. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. I don't know. I'm a little mixed on it because there's a part of me that thinks it's really, really good, and I was listening to it just a little while ago, and as a song, it's very, very good. As a thing in the movie, it ends up feeling a little bit to me like they were afraid that we weren't going to understand the themes of the thing, and so they were like, I'm going to put it in a song. Like, I'm just going to make sure that the words are said. This is what's happening. This is what I'm feeling. And that is, if I have any criticism of the film, and it is a slight criticism if it's even there, some of it does feel a little bit on the nose in the way that the song plays, in the way that that music kind of works, and also in the way that, like, the narration ends up a lot of the times being important, but some of the time it ends up feeling just a little bit, yeah, we were watching the movie, like, we know kind of what's going on. So overall, the music is really good, and overall, Train Dreams, I do genuinely believe, deserves to be in the Best Picture category. Not only that, I think Train Dreams deserves to win Best Picture. There is an argument for this being the best movie of 2025. If you have seen it, do you agree with me? And what are your thoughts on the film? And if you have not, what kind of tree is your favorite kind of tree? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you would like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, comics, TV shows, anything of the like, hit the like button and the subscribe or comment down below. Or do none of those because I am not your dad. And don't forget that I am doing a series of videos. I am doing a video on each of the Best Picture nominees. So keep an eye out for those.